And I understand people come to me, they say, hey, he's only 18. But in each one of these cases, somebody could have been killed. And for what? It was over Air Jordans. All right, are the parties ready on Jaime Torres? Do y'all, he has several witnesses. Do y'all want to do this from there? Because how many witnesses do you have?
Had 20 before lunch, I think,
All right, so somebody is not appropriately addressed who wants to testify, so you'll just need to borrow a jacket from somebody. Okay, all right, then let's reset it for the 30 days. All right, Mr. Cordova, Cardoza, yes. You've been accepted into the pretrial diversion program. They're going to give you a reset form for July the 22nd. So once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused, okay? All right, thank you. All right. Oh, you can have a seat at this table.
okay.
Court is calling 2024 CR 4913, 2024 CR 4914, 2024 CR 5080, State of Texas versus Jaime Torres. Can I have parties announced for the record, for the state,
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Tommy Vaughn for Mr. Torres.
All right, and are you Mr. Torres?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on May 20th, and each of these cause numbers, you entered a plea of guilty. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. According to your plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine, and in some cases, there's restitution, and the cases are to run concurrently. And my understanding, the only request in this case was a TAP evaluation. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the TAP evaluation?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, you're opposed to the application. Do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, call your first witness.
Okay, we'll start off with,
Who wants to go first? Okay, if you take a seat here, please.
Adjust the microphone, please.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, take a seat, make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear and the court reporter can hear.
Mhm.
If you'll state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Elizabeth Horace.
All right, defense.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry, no, he has questions.
thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, so this will be question and answer.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So how do you know Jaime?
I know Jaime, I'm the middle sister of 5 kids.
And this can be a little tedious, but it's the legal system. We can't assume, so is he your brother?
Sorry, yes, he is my brother.
Okay. And where do you live currently?
Currently I live in Los Angeles, California.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
For a living, I am a personal trainer and I am a college student to go into nursing.
Is it safe to say you've known Jaime all of his life?
Yes, all my life. I left when I was 18. So I've known him since when he was like, I left and he was 12, but I kept contact with my whole entire family. I've come twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. So I've been very involved in his life.
Do you know Jaime to be a violent person?
Absolutely.
Were you and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but were you shocked? How did you feel when you found out what Jaime had done? And
I was very shocked. So sorry. Because that's my little brother. He's the sweetest, brightest kid. Enjoys playing. He dreams about the future. We all plan about the future together. So it was very shocking to hear because that is out of his character. That is not who he is. And it surprised me as much as it did to the rest of my family. That this is what was happening. That is not of his character. So I know that there was other influences involved. And that is not an excuse. But I know when he is with his family, he is so gentle, kind, and would never want to hurt anyone.
where did y'all grow up?
We grew up in San Antonio, Texas, and Trumbull Road.
Okay. And do your folks still live there?
Yes,
Okay. And is that where Jaime lived?
yes.
And if the court were to place Jaime on deferred adjudication, community supervision, would he be able to live there?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask a question of you. Do you promise to monitor and mentor Jaime to make sure that he follows the rules of our society?
Absolutely. I mean, I want a time where he can come and live with me and just get him on the right path where he belongs. And I know that I'm gonna do my best as far as I live, since I do come out a lot to my home, that I want to be a good guidance of him as well and support him.
Are you committed to also ensuring and helping that Jaime follows any and all orders of the court?
Yes, I'm very committed.
I'll pass the witness.
State.
Does your family still live, it's on that Trumbull Road? Trumbull Road?
Yes.
Okay, I don't wanna say the actual
No.
address,
Mhm.
because we're streamed, but were you aware that one of these robberies actually happened a couple houses down from your home?
I was aware.
And it happened around 3 in the afternoon is my understanding. So he was at one point to your house and still committed these acts, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that it's alleged that in at least that incident, he had a handgun. Are you?
No.
Well, your brother looks like, if I do the math real quick, he's about 19 years old. Does that sound about right?
18. He will turn 19 this year.
Well, were you aware that it's illegal to own a handgun below the age of 21?
Yes.
Where did you get a handgun?
I don't know. I mean, we're in Texas too. Another law, so you can just get a gun
No,
at any age.
there's still an age requirement on the handgun, but I'll pass the witness.
All right, any follow-up questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Call your next witness. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Gerardo Torres.
All right, defense?
How do you know Jaime?
He's my brother. I'm one of the oldest. I've known him all my life.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live, my dad's neighbor. I live on 20420.
Oh, you don't have to give your address, just where do you live?
Okay, well,
In Bear County?
Barrett County, yes, South
Okay.
San Antonio.
Okay. And how long have you lived in San Antonio?
30 years.
Okay.
I'm 30 right now. Yeah. Live in San Antonio right now.
What emotions or what went through your head when you found your brother got arrested?
A lot of mixed emotions. I mean, anger. I mean, I felt like he let us down because I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Nobody was expecting that from him, especially knowing the way he was. I mean, back then he was always playing sports, dressed differently. He's a different kid. Started hanging around with a different type of crowd and totally changed him. And it disappointed me. It disappointed me bad because that's not what we teach them. That's not what we are. So.
Were you raised in a household that instilled good moral values or moral character?
Yes, yes. My dad and my mom, I mean, always discipline was good, gave us good morals, values, go to church.
Okay. And so what do you do now for a living?
I'm a truck driver and I also do landscaping.
Are you willing to help guide and mentor Jaime to follow any and all orders from this court?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Why?
First of all, I mean, he's my brother. I love him, and I don't want to see him go down the bad path. You know, but I don't want to see him go through that. So I'm always gonna be there for him. I've always been there for him, and he knows that. So that's my problem. Is I mean, I'm gonna try my best to. I've told him so many times that help you get your CDL. You know, that way you could get on trucking with me and everything. That's the way it is.
Are the crimes that Jaime committed consistent with your family's values?
No, sir. No, because we don't. I mean, I've never been in trouble with the law. None of my family members have been in trouble with the law. Like, you know, like basically been the first one who's ever should have been on that suit.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
State?
You were saying that Jaime was being influenced by other people. Who is that?
I believe his friends that he would hang around with when he was in school. Cause the way whenever they would come and pick him up, sometimes I would. It's kind of not hard to see, you know, the way people dress and the way they are and what they're doing.
And at that time, you never said anything to Jaime?
No, I mean, I would tell him like you're hanging around with the bad crowd, but I mean, I didn't know what he was doing. He wouldn't tell us what he was doing until we found out when he got arrested.
And so you said that you lived on can you say the road's name again?
Trumbull Road?
Thank you.
Yes.
So you live there, so you're aware, again, that this crime happened maybe a house or two down from.
I wasn't aware that the crime happened because I wasn't here. I was working. So I wasn't even aware of what happened until we got the call.
And you were unaware and you weren't there because you were.
I was working.
And so have you switched jobs?
I'm a truck driver and I do landscaping.
So do you plan on switching jobs?
No, I make really good money as a truck driver.
I bet you do,
Yeah.
but part of it is that if you're saying that you're gonna mentor him and monitor him, well, you weren't there the first time that this happened, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I was working.
No, I understand that, sir. Pass
You
it.
know, when I get home or when I see him, I always talk to him and be there for him whenever he's there.
Pass the witness, Judge.
All right, any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, call your next witness. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand and have a seat. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Jaime Torres.
All right, state. I'm sorry, defense.
Who is Jaime?
This is my son.
Do you understand that he robbed 3 people at gunpoint on 3 separate occasions?
Yeah, I understand that.
Are those actions consistent with how you raised him?
No, because I raised him. I think I raised him real good. I think so right now, I'm never make a mistake with my kids to raise him as a good boy, as a good citizen.
So, you know, these 3 crimes were committed over the course of 5 or 6 days. Did you ever have any problem with him when he was growing up in school?
No, nothing. He was a good kid, everything.
Did he ever get in trouble at school?
No, never. He was in sports. I tried to put on football, soccer, everything. He was good. Good kid. Sometimes I take him with me to go to work with me on the big truck. He's going with me and always. And then he say, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a truck driver when I grow up." Say, "Okay, that's good. That way you can help me to drive a truck." And I mean, it was everything was good.
So, I mean, it's hard to, I mean, did you not once ever get a phone call from a school principal or a coach stating that Jaime had acted up at school?
No,
Okay. And so, do you recall when he graduated?
oh yeah, I was when he graduate. Yeah,
When was that? Last December?
no, yeah.
Okay.
He get not on the school. It was another program that he gets. Yeah, he do it and he got his certificate.
Okay. And so, if you made it 18 years of first 18 years of life, never even get in trouble at school, what happened, 4 or 5 months ago?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes you know your son. Sometimes for the people they how do you say they involve in other kids or whatever. Because I never shown that any bad thing, not to hurt anybody, not to rob any candy. I mean, not like that. All my kids, they're good. Thanks God, they're good. I think we were doing a good job, my wife and I. And I mean, it hurts. It hurts a lot to my son do that to the people, whatever they do. I mean, say sorry for them. I mean, I'm sorry, and I love my kid. I love him.
Was this, or has this been a wake-up call to the family? That, I guess, the path that Jaime was starting to make, I don't know if you just say starting to go down, but progressing toward, for sure.
Mhm.
And are you committed to getting him back on the right track?
Oh yes, of course, yes. I'll be a little bit more strong on that. I mean, and working with him and everything. Straight your life, because I don't want to see him in jail no more. Never, because it hurts. Did you see a son, sorry, on jail?
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Nothing from the state.
All right, thank you. You may step down. Defense, you want to help him down?
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, call your next witness.
I think that'll be it, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything your client wishes to say?
He's fully prepared to answer anything.
No, I mean, if he wants to say something, he can. He'll be subject to cross-examination from the state. I mean, if he doesn't want to say anything, of course, he doesn't have to. Otherwise, I will tell you all, both parties, I've refamiliarized myself with the stipulations. And I've listened to all of the testimony. I do understand that nobody wants their child to go to prison, right? But here's the problem. And I don't know, family, if you are aware what's in the stipulation. And one of the stipulations, guess what? When people make phone calls from the jail, those are recorded. And sometimes when people make phone calls from the jail, you get used to making phone calls from the jail. And even though the phone call from the jail will tell someone, this is being recorded, they give you the whole thing. And then when it reaches the person on the outside on their line, it will tell them, this is a phone call from, and I forget, they've changed the system that's used now. And they will tell you it's from inmate, and then they give all their numbers. And I know people say that people hanging out with the wrong crowd, that's the issue. But the people who are with him, if they were to come before me, you know what they would say? They would say, my son, my daughter, whoever it is, was hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I would say, who is it? And they would say it's him. And the reason why I bring up the phone calls is because in the case number ending in 4914, in the stipulations, you know what it says? And I always take notes, but I'm going to tell you what it says in the stipulations so you will know. On March 22nd, 2024, a jail call was located in IC Solutions. So whenever people are at the jail, they call, and the person on the receiving end, usually they have to pay. The first call is always free. And it says IC Solutions of a call, Jaime. That's him, because of all the defendants, he's the only Jaime. Jaime had placed to his mother on February 21st, 2024 at 13:33:54 hours. The call is in Spanish. I was advised by the clerk that in Jaime's call, he explains to his mother the details of his arrest. In the jail call, which had some static, Jaime is heard telling his mother that the guns were given to Gabriel, Gabriel was supposed to get rid of the guns, but he didn't and was caught with them. So when you all say he's hanging with the wrong crowd, I guarantee you Gabriel's mom and his family would be saying he's the wrong crowd, because guess what? He gave me the guns and told me to get rid of them, and I didn't. So this isn't a situation where, oh, somebody's never been in trouble before. They've never committed any aggravated robberies before. And, Gabriel is coming along, leading him astray. Because again, he's the one in the jail phone call to his mother telling her that Gabriel was supposed to get rid of the guns and he didn't. And I understand people come to me, they say, hey, he's only 18. But in each one of these cases, somebody could have been killed. And for what? It was over Air Jordans. The other case was they go up to a guy who smells like marijuana and he's trying to sell marijuana, which, by the way, Ethan is not getting that $50 back, because you shouldn't be standing on the corner trying to sell marijuana. That's the cost of doing business. And so they ask him for a change, and then they take off running, pulling out guns. Any bystander could have been shot. And I guarantee you, if one of your family members were out there and they were running around pulling guns and they shot one of your family members, you would understand. And then they are going on offer up. I don't do offer up, but I imagine it takes a lot to go on offer up to see, first of all, oh, is somebody selling something on offer up? How do we set them up? There's some planning in that, because you have to say, who's going to have the guns? Where are we going to meet them at? And how do we get this person's items that they're trying to sell without paying them? Offer some Air Jordans. So I've heard everybody's testimony. I've internalized the testimony. I'm not going to grant him deferred adjudication. He's going to prison. The only question is how long. State is requesting a cap of 10 years. Defense, I'm sure you want something less than a cap of 10. So I will hear argument as to the cap of 10. State, do you want to go first?
Yes, Judge, I believe 10 years is appropriate in this case. These are 3 separate incidents where guns were pointed at people, again, when they didn't need to be. It's 3 instances within 5 days, with a 5-day span. It's a spree. People could have been killed. So the state is asking for 10 years.
All right. And defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, Jaime is 18 years old. I'm concerned that, in TDC, now he's going to be getting a higher education in criminal activity. He's certainly going to be punished, and community will be kept safe. But as you can see, once he is released from TDCJ, he has a tribe to help get him back on his feet and reintegrate him into society. Taking his youthfulness, frankly, 5 years from now, he'll really just have become a man. His brain will have finally fully formed. And so I think a 5-year sentence is appropriate.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. In 2024 CR 4913, the court is finding you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 5080 and 2024 CR 4914. There's to be no contact with Gabriel Ibarra, that's with a Y. Solomon Job, J-O-B, Jacinto, J-A-C-I-N-T-O, Garcia. Okay, I'll see if I can talk to them. Ethan Espinoza, and state, I'm not going to order the $50 for Ethan Espinoza.
Judge, I believe the restitution was on 2024 CR 4914. It was for the Jordans that were taken.
Let me see.
That should have been where the restitution was put.
4913, it says,
4914, Judge.
okay, so I'm at 4913, where it says, there was an exchange, there was a request for, all right, so 4913, I don't see the Jordans in that case. Is there a second case involving Ethan and Jordans?
So the case number I had that under was 2024 CR 4914. That was the Ethan Davis with the Jordans, Judge.
Okay, no, this is Ethan Espinoza.
Right, it was a different, there's two Ethans. Which
Yes,
make it super
so
confusing.
I'm in 4913 and Ethan Espinoza is the one with the marijuana.
Yes, Judge.
So
Sorry, I
I'm
was just
not,
trying to-
okay, no problem. So I'm not giving him his $50 because he shouldn't be selling marijuana.
Of course, Judge.
Okay. And then, let me see. And I'm gonna sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. And then in the cause number ending in 4914, court is finding you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 5080, 2024 CR 4913. Now that's the case with the Air Jordans.
Yes, Judge.
And what's the price on the Air Jordans?
$180, Judge.
All right, there's going to be restitution of $180. There's to be no contact with Ethan Davis, Gabriel Ibarra, Solomon Job Jacinto Garcia, and the court is sentencing you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And the cause number ending in 5080, court is finding you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 4914, 2024 CR 4913. There's to be no contact with Gabriel Ibarra, Solomon Job Jacinto Garcia, Ethan Espinoza, Ethan Davis. It's going to be 8 years in the prison, credit for any time served. And is there any restitution?
Judge, the last contact we had from the complainant on this case, it was Christian Guerrero Lopez. He indicated that it was $200 restitution, but I don't know where that number came from.
All right. There's to be no contact with Christian Guerrero. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing in either of these cause numbers?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal in each of these cause numbers?
Not since May the 20th.
All right. If you'll review those with your client, please. All right. Did you review those, Mr. Torres? And did you sign them?
Yeah.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, there are some things, when you're putting other people's life in danger, that's an issue. And there's no amount of tears that can take that back what you did. And all over a pair of Air Jordans, I know Air Jordans are expensive depending on which one you have, but you can't do it. And then your mind frame still wasn't right, because in the phone call to your mother, you're telling her that Gabriel should have got rid of the guns. I don't know what's wrong with young people running around acting like this is grand theft auto and that there are no consequences. And the fact that your sister comes up here, she doesn't have any criminal history. She's trying to live her life in California, hoping that you're doing the same. Your brother doesn't have any criminal history. And it appears that your father has been in your life. There is absolutely no excuse. You don't even have the excuse that I grew up in the foster care system. And there are people in the foster care system who don't go around pulling guns on people. If you want things, you need to work for things. I don't know why you thought that instead of getting a job and buying your own Air Jordans, it was easier just to steal them. Do you understand? Now, when you go to prison, let me just tell you, prison is not easy. People be looking at you some sort of way, and I think you know what I mean. You need to keep your head down. Don't become institutionalized. Don't come from the prison with all these gang tattoos on your body. And definitely, if you are going to get tattoos, because I understand sometimes people have to join a side while they're at the prison. Here's the thing. Don't get any tattoos on your face. You understand? Don't shave your head and get tattoos on your head. Don't get tattoos on your eyelid. Don't do the face tattoos. Don't do any tattoos above this line. Do you understand? Because when you get out, hopefully you will get your life in order. You understand? And while you're there, if you need a GED, you can get a GED. It's free. Taxpayers will pay for it. While you're there, you can get your college degree. Guess what? It's free. Taxpayers will pay for it. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you, okay?
You know what prison I would be going to?
No, your attorney will be able to let you know.
Judge, we did have one victim impact.
All right, excuse me, Mr. Torres. They have victim impact. All right, so everyone, here's the thing. I understand it's hard on y'all because he's only 18 and y'all wanted him to have probation. But I can't have you all wailing in the court, although I understand where it's coming from. But if you do, what's going to happen? It's going to put the deputies on alert. And when deputies go on alert, guess what? Everybody gets kicked out of the courtroom. Okay. All right. So, and here's the other thing, guys, just make sure you write letters to him at the prison and don't forget about him. You understand? Because some people get sent to prison and you know what? They come to court because I've been a defense attorney. They cry. They don't want their relative to go to prison. And then guess what? I'm the only person who's writing letters to them. So you can visit him. You can write letters to him. You can put money on his books, and it's easy now because you know what? You can do it all electronically. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can send him books to keep him uplifted and keep him on his path. And when you send him letters and talk to him at the prison, remind him that you all are waiting for him and remind him, do not get tattoos from here up to here. You understand? All right. You have victim impact?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Torres, I require that everybody treat everybody with respect. So nobody's going to be shouting. I just ask that you internalize what is being said. You may proceed.
One that you robbed for the parachute. I come from a good family just like you. I also made similar mistakes in my past, so I feel sympathy for you. But I feel pain on behalf of your family. Your family loves you very much. Think deeply about where you want to be in life. Living the way you have only bring pain, distress, and suffering to yourself and those around you. What you did is wrong. Look at where your actions have led you. We are human. We make mistakes. We are imperfect. So for that, I forgive you. I don't want you to be in prison for 8 years. You're young and you made bad decisions. I understand that. I suggest you seriously reconsider your line of work. And I wish you the best of luck and may God be with you.
All right. Thank you. Oh, Norma, the attorney has it. Yeah. And if you all will, you can always call the jail. And when he gets ready for transfer, they'll let you know which prison he's going to. And you can also, if you Google Texas offender and type his name in and date of birth, it will tell you which location he is at. And you'll be able to see the hours of visitation and when you can go visit. So I'm not your attorney, but here's my advice. He's young. He's just been sentenced to 8 years. When visitation comes up at the Bexar County Jail, you need to go over there and uplift him and let him know that you all are going to be there for him. So don't abandon him at this point. So somebody should always be writing letters to him and letting him know you got a job lined up for him. You have these other things for him. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You're welcome. All right. Who are the parties on David Aguirre? Okay, are we here for sentencing?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 1252, State of Texas versus David Aguirre. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Luis Martinez on behalf of Mr. Aguirre.
And are you Mr. Aguirre?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Was a PSI done in this case or just an evaluation for DVRF?
Judge, I think it was just the tap that was done. I don't think we did a DDRL evaluation.
All right, does anyone have a copy of it's attached, just 1 second. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation, state and defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
Your Honor.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement in this case, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. They're taking into consideration 2022 CR 1253 and 2022 CR 1254. Counsel, any information you'd like to provide to the court?
No, Judge, we're asking the court to accept the plea bargain. Mr. Aguirre, and this is a case where, Mr. Aguirre was medically rejected at the time of the offense. It was indicted 2 years later. He was picked up on a warrant 2 years after that. He's had a lot of medical issues. He's on a methadone program now. He's stayed out of trouble since then, and we're asking for those reasons that the court accept the plea bargain. And with regard to any sentencing treatment issues, I'd ask the court just to consider the TAP recommendations.
All right, was there a recommendation? I saw there was a recommendation to felony drug court. Was he not accepted?
Judge, he lives in Comal County with his father, so that
so that
provides some
He
issues.
can't do that. All right, are you currently employed or no?
No, ma'am.
So how do you spend your days?
Helping my father,
All right, and what do you help him with?
whatever he needs, his ranch, whatever.
Oh, so you're at a ranch? Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Probation, does there need to be a transfer to Comal County or is that drivable? Okay. All right, the court is going to follow your agreement. Does anybody want to speak to the length of community supervision? It was requested for 8 years.
Judge, I think that's appropriate just with the amount of drugs that were found and the other cases that are being taken into consideration.
And Judge, we don't have a problem with that. If he does well, obviously we can ask the court to review it, and if he doesn't, then he doesn't.
All right, the court will sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication, taking in consideration 2022 CR 1253 and 2022 CR 1254. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. There's going to be proof of employment or SSI within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. If he's unable to work and he provides medical documentation that he cannot do community service hours, then the court will allow him to pay those off at $7.25 per hour.
Yes, ma'am.
There is going to be an evaluation for the medication assisted treatment program, also called MET. And there's going to be intensive outpatient treatment with probation. There's going to be 120 sober meetings in 120 days. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And we'll do field visits 1 time per month for 3 months, and then at probation's discretion. Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, is there anything else you need from the court? All right, and probation, I do see in here that he's approved for MIC. So if you'll put him on the MIC caseload. All right, we're off the record for just a brief moment. If there's any issues with MIC or something of that nature, just let the court know, okay? All right, we're gonna go back on the record. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Right.
Here's the thing, we're off the record. You're gonna have to start making better choices, right? Your number one priority should be your sobriety. Do not slip up. Do not bring trouble to your father's doorstep because he's taking you in. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court or anything the court can do to help you be successful in this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me.
Yes.